In a time when the world was vast and the mountains touched the skies, there lived a young monk named Liang. He resided in a small monastery, perched upon the cliffs of the ancient Himalayas, where the air was thin and the winds whispered secrets of old. Liang, despite being surrounded by fellow monks and the beauty of nature, was often engulfed by a deep sense of loneliness. This feeling grew so intense that it began to hinder his meditations and daily duties. One day, noticing Liang's sorrow, the old abbot called him to his modest quarters. The room was filled with the scent of incense, and scrolls of ancient wisdom lined the walls. The abbot, seeing the unease in Liang's eyes, suggested a journey to find the root of his solitude. "You must travel to the Valley of Echoes," said the abbot, his voice both gentle and firm. "There, seek out the hermit of the winds. He will show you the way through your solitude." Liang set out at dawn, his path fraught with the rugged beauty of the mountains. His first destination was a lake said to reflect one's true inner state. As he gazed into the calm, mirror-like waters, Liang saw not just his reflection, but also his loneliness mirrored in the solitude of the surrounding peaks. As he sat by the lake, an old woman approached him, her back bent like the bow of a tree. "The lake shows what you hold within your heart," she explained. "Your loneliness, like these waters, is deep and vast. Then how do I change what's within?" Liang asked, his voice tinged with despair. "By realizing that the water is clear and calm, because it is connected to everything else. It reflects everything but holds on to nothing," she replied, leaving Liang to ponder her words. Continuing his journey, Liang reached the fabled Valley of Echoes. Here, every sound was returned by another, every call met with a response. Liang shouted his fears into the valley, and the valley shouted back, not with answers, but with the same words he had spoken. As he contemplated the echoes, the hermit of the winds appeared beside him, a man so old that his wrinkles seemed carved by time itself. "Why do you think your calls are returned the same?" asked the hermit. "Because that's what I shouted," Liang responded, puzzled by the question. "Exactly," the hermit smiled. "Loneliness responds the same way. It echoes what you feed into it. Feed your life with joy and companionship, and the emptiness will fill." Guided by the hermit, Liang descended the valley and entered a village where a festival was in full swing. Lanterns floated into the sky, each one carrying someone's hopes and dreams. Liang, feeling out of place in his monk's robes amidst the revelry, hesitated at the fringes. The hermit nudged him forward. "Join them," he urged. "Loneliness diminishes when shared with others, when you partake in the joy around you." Reluctantly, Liang joined the festivities, helping an old man light a lantern. As he watched the lantern drift up into the starlit sky, his heart felt lighter, his burdens lessened by the simple act of sharing the moment with another soul. The last leg of his journey brought Liang to the summit of the highest peak. From there, the world seemed infinite, and he felt more alone than ever. But as he sat there, the sun rose, bathing the world in golden light. Villages woke, birds sang, and a profound realization dawned on Liang. Solitude, he discovered, wasn't the absence of noise, but the peace within oneself. The world was alive, connected by unseen threads. He understood now that his loneliness was not a prison, but a path to finding his connection to the world. When Liang returned to the monastery, he was changed. No longer did he feel the pangs of loneliness, for he carried with him the lessons of the lake, the valley, the festival, and the summit. He understood that loneliness, like all emotions, was a teacher. In the evenings when he sat down to meditate, he no longer felt alone. The universe sat with him, vast and interconnected, and his heart echoed with the joys and sorrows of all living things. And in this newfound understanding, Liang found the greatest lesson of all, that in the embrace of the world, one is never truly alone.